hold a thought for as little as 17 seconds, there's enough attraction power in that consistent thought. And by holding the thought, we mean holding it without contradicting it, holding the thought purely without introducing resistance. And once you cross the 68-second mark, there's enough momentum to start receiving thought about it, to start receiving impulse about it. That's all you have to accomplish. If you can get across that 68-second mark and even beyond, everything else will take care of itself.
The 17-second rule is something that has intrigued me for quite some time. Of course, it was the numerous success stories that appeared to yield rather magical results that first hooked me, although I would be lying if I did not disclose that I was still very skeptical. After all, what positive changes could actually happen in your life if all you did was focus on a single desire for just 17 seconds? Could it really be enough to manifest, say, the new car, the amicable end of a toxic relationship, the beginning of love, the confirmation of your ideal physical appearance, etc.? Well, after digging deep into this technique, I discovered something. The 17-second rule is more like a craft that not too many people can actually practice effectively. It requires practice and patience, some tips perhaps to help you focus for that amount of time on a singular thought, which may seem like easy peas, but as we'll learn in this video, it really is not. But what if you could learn how to hold a single thought for 17 seconds? Would that really be enough? Well, I guess let's just find out. The 17-second rule states that the manifestation process begins once a singular thought has been held for the 17 seconds. But to be more accurate, the law of attraction kicks in after 17 seconds of a sustained singular thought. The manifestation of that thought begins after 68 seconds. According to Abraham Hicks, the founder of this technique, by focusing on a pure thought for 17 seconds, you will reach a combustion or ignition point, where the momentum of that thought begins to build. Holding a pure thought for 17 seconds is equal to 2,000 action hours. 34 seconds of pure thought is equivalent to 20,000 action hours. 51 seconds is akin to 200,000 action hours. And by focusing on a pure singular thought for 68 seconds, one has now fully reached a point where the manifestation of that thought has now begun. 68 seconds of pure thought is equivalent to 2 million action hours. This seems incredibly mystical and certainly too good to be true, but when we take into consideration the fact that the average human attention span is a grand total of 8.25 seconds, I think it's fair to assume that there are not too many people on this earth who can anecdotally discredit the 17-second rule. Perhaps this could offer an explanation as to why the majority of human lives appear to be rather monotonous and routine, because there are not too many human beings out there who can sustain a singular thought for even that amount of time, 17 seconds, the combustion point where real changes begin, much less 68 seconds when manifestation has begun. But what is a pure thought? One could assume that purity of thought would entail visions of good thoughts that would be of the benefit for all. But to use this as the definition of pure thought wouldn't offer any real explanation for the rather negative things that tend to happen in our life. Catching a cold, for example, after fearing catching it. A pure thought is a singular thought focused upon one subject, ideally paired with some degree of emotion. And it doesn't even have to be strong, it just has to be singular. This means no other thoughts or distractions can be present. And for you to engage the manifestation process to initiate some sort of change in your life, your 17-second thought doesn't even have to be good or bad. It just has to be pure. Again, in a space where no other thought is present. keep in mind, your vibration doesn't have to be strong. It really just has to be pure, and you don't have to think about it over and over again. You just have to think about it purely. This is a mild implication that if you were to focus your thoughts onto one specific desire for 17 to 68 seconds, perhaps that would be enough mental work. Now, this would not be my video if I did not share with you some useless information. So let's talk about the history of this 17-second rule, the numerological significance, and so forth and such with. Abraham is a group consciousness from the non-physical dimension, channeled through Esther Hicks. And since 1985, both Jerry and Esther Hicks have been traveling around the world, bringing us the good word. Their teachings include philosophies of low-key divine oneness, personal accountability, universal love, the path of least resistance, and more. They've shared many methods, all designed to assist people with entering into alignment. The techniques range from grid work to focus wheels to teachings of the vortex and, of course, the 17-second rule. I have no evidence to suggest that the number 17 was ever selected by the Hickses based upon its numerological significance, but I do find it fun that within the ancient study of numerology, the number 17 has long been associated as a symbol or omen of change, progress, new beginnings, and the ability to manifest changes in your life. Within the practice of traditional feng shui, the number 8 has long been the number of material wealth, prosperity, and success, just to summarize it, making the number 17 potentially associated with these aspects as well. Again, the numerological significance of the number 17 at this time doesn't appear to be relevant with Abraham Hicks's 17-second rule, but I do find the historical coincidences mildly interesting. Now let's try something fun. I'm going to put a timer on the screen in a moment for 17 seconds. I will not speak. But before we do that together, I want to ask you a question real quick. The first thing that comes to your mind. What is the one thing that you really want by tomorrow morning? Is it an apology from someone? Some sort of confirmation of love, a bouquet of flowers, a text message? Is it a compliment from your boss? Is it some sort of small body goal achievement? Whatever it is, the very first thing that you would like to see by tomorrow morning, if not by the end of the week. Just a little tip. Pick something that you really want and something that you truly believe could materialize in the short term, just so you can get your results quicker without making any changes to your current environment. Starting in a few seconds, let's think about this one thought. And I want you to pay attention to how long you were able to actually ponder this singular thought for. When you lose focus or you get distracted or another thought is to enter into your brain, I want you to open your eyes and look at the time on the timer. So we're going to begin right now. So that was 17 seconds. And if my armchair calculations were correct, you would not have been able to last longer than a few seconds. And that's totally okay. Do comment down below what your number was, though, if you're interested. This time we're going to try it again, but I'm going to give you some tips. See if you can go somewhere where distractions are limited. Use an affirmation associated with your desire, something like a mantra that you can recite over and over in your head. It'll help keep you focused. If you have an image of your desire, use this image to focus on and or play an instrumental piece. It's important that there are no lyrics. Same rules, same thought as before. Pay attention to which second you lose focus at. Now, how long were you able to focus on your single thought? No one will hold it against you if you were still unable to make it to the full 17 seconds, but I'm willing to bet your attention span was better. So these 4 tips are incredibly helpful for lengthening your attention span. Hopefully you got that. And hopefully now you can see that focusing on a singular or pure thought for 17 to 68 seconds is a lot more challenging than it may at first appear. But practice does make perfect though, and let's remember that. In summation, if you are still unable to focus on a pure thought for 17 to 68 seconds, I don't want you to fret and think that your thoughts and your visualizations or daydreams are going unheard or unseen. That is not the case here. I'm not trying to convey that point. Since I've learned how to lengthen my attention span to longer than 68 seconds, I've shortened my daydreams to a minimum of 68 seconds, paired with all of the principles of the law of assumption/attraction, heavy on detachment. One thing I want to say about the detachment, what I'm referring to with detachment is detachment from the outcome, is that since I've shortened my daydreams to 68 seconds, I'm finding that I am even more detached from the outcomes than I ever was before. And since that shift has happened within me, I'm seeing my life and myself actually transform right before my eyes. I don't want to convey the point that this is instantaneous, but it's rapidly becoming slightly instantaneous from my perspective, at least. Not literally instantaneous, but quicker than things ever have been before. And I'm just so grateful to have finally stumbled upon something like this and to have the opportunity and the space here to share it with you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it inspiring. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I trust you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this one. So how did you like today's video, and what video would you like to see next? You let me know in the comment section down below. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Toodles.